Welcome to the July 8th meeting of Hospital Village. No, roll call.
Yes.
Miller.
Miller.
Yes.
Ready? Here. Rachel.
Here.
Michael. Here. Novena.
Here.
Keynote.
Okay, next will be pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States.
Father, we give thanks again for allowing us to be here and conduct the business of the village, and we ask for your guidance tonight. We also ask for your guidance to and safety for everyone that's here on vacation and all the roots. Amen.
Next one will be 1.25 approval estimate. There is no evidence we can pass that. Number 2 is the total consent agenda.
I'll make a motion that we accept the consent agenda with those paid in the sum of $8,400 for 20 cents.
Yeah, first, can I get a second?
I'll second.
Yeah, first second, any second. If not, roll call please.
Right. Yes. Martina.
Yes.
Mitchell.
Yes.
Cook. Yes. Keynote.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Michael. Yes.
Next, that'll be approval of regular agenda. May I get a motion on that?
Wait, wasn't it based on recommending agendas?
I'll second.
Yeah, for a second, any discussion? If not. we'll move on. Next item is manager report. Ms. Brown.
Welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy weekend. I hope you enjoyed the weekend all right. We now have an agenda on the board, so start some improvements. Hey, let's know where we're at with our master plan. We are now in the review of all the chapters. Planning Commission has went through 3 chapters. Crossed every T, dotted every I. They're going through. They'll be going through next week one more time. They're going to be looking at pictures and just little things that maybe we missed the first time through. After that, they will be making before they make a recommendation, we have to have a public hearing and give copies for public input on it. So we are ahead of schedule, so you will see that folded by the end of the summer. So I want to congratulate the Heather Runyon and also the Planning Commission for working so hard on that. It's not always easy, but it's not always the most enjoyable task. So thank you. I'd like to thank the DPW. There's 8 or 9 of us that rotate around. They get up in the morning, 5:30 ish, and start watering flowers. That's the greatest job in the world. No phones, can't hear anything, people are waving, and all happy because they like flowers. Sometimes they bring out coffee, and you may not drink coffee, but anyway, it's great. And the DPW crew last week went through the tractor and put a new wand there, changed the tire, did a few things, add some mirrors and stuff and make it not only safer but more enjoyable to manage. So I want to thank Debbie and her crew for doing that. Larry Kavanaugh, Larry's a retired surveyor in our community. Years ago, he was a part of the group that identified what's called a witness tree. A witness tree could be a tree that marked a historical event that may have taken place. For a surveyor, a witness tree is a designated tree that they mark. And so on these old maps, it would say so many paces from such and such witness tree. Do I have that right, Dan?
Yes, they might have 2 or 3 of these trees and they call it blaze. They blazed them with a small axe, cut the bark off. And one's talking about the ones over in Wallace Park that were they were put there by Surveyor Burton in the 1850s. That's when he came here. He's the man that invented the typewriter. Although the typewriter didn't get developed until years, he developed the typewriter like 1828 or 20. But I can't think of his first name, but his name was Bert. He was one of the Michigan surveyors. But there's witness trees right in the back corner of Wallace Park down the end of 7th Street, and going downstream. And they're marked there. I mean, there was a ceremony or something there quite a few years back. Frank Arlington, the surveyor, I think he might have been involved. And it's a corner spot right there. And the survey line goes right through, comes right across town by PC Pizza, comes through there somewhere. But that's what a witness tree is. It's just from this, yeah, they put it in their documents, and from this tree to this tree, such and such, there's a stake. That's the core. And the witness tree is just something as a guideline. The actual corner of the stake is somewhere so many feet from those trees. So,
Thank you. Supposedly there's only like 12 of these in existence in the United States. Due to timing, trees die and different things happen, stuff like this. And so, Larry came in this last week and told me a little bit about this, and we have a kind of designated area. I identified, he's gonna start cleaning up, and we have some kids that are gonna help up too. So, hopefully, that tree having significance in this community, and it's kind of nice to have.
it's amazing those trees are still standing.
Yeah.
And then having that bark cut off, and you can see how the bark grew out. Like, boy, it's incredible.
I'd like to thank Chevy Consultant for doing a nice job on that 4th Street sidewalk. Wasn't the easiest job, because a lot of terrain you have to go over and different pitches and things like that, but they went through it, and I think there's a little bit of still have to throw broken grass down, but for the most part everything's ready to go and looking nice. I have purposely driven down there when I'm heading to town and such, and almost on every occasion I'm seeing someone walking right and foot on the sidewalk, which is encouraging to see.
It was good for the parade. All the mistakes from the parade down there. A lot of people were walking up and down that and stay on the road. A lot of people remarked about it. People felt good.
I've been riding my bike on it, and it's wonderful. Not that it gets me off because I'm riding at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, but it's smooth. It's nice going up that hill. I used to come around pretty.
They did a nice job, and it's moving very along the yard. Just a little heads up about the Spruce Life, from time to time. We met with the manager last week. Most of the conversations that may come up regarding the Spruce Lodge is the historical significance, but also the condition of the place. So the manager and I, we had a nice conversation Friday morning. He got up and took 3 loads of yard debris to our compost site and cleaned up the yard a bit. Now we're just working on finishing the paint job that started. So anyway, hopefully we can get that place looking better. It might look better, but we still got I'm concerned about the condition of that as well. So we did talk about possible people going down and taking a closer look at it that have more of expertise in their eye than I do for that. So hopefully we can work with down there. The mixed use property, I mentioned something last month about kind of what would you like to see done at the mixed use property, and I posed that same question to the DEA and also to the planning commission. All 3 of these councils or boards or committees, they were pretty consistent on what they would like to see. They weren't as concerned as how much to sell the land for. We're more concerned on, is it a solid plan? That goes with or something? Do they have, a good timeline for completing that? Do they have the crew to, pull off the project like that? And then do they have the financial backing, to go ahead and, conduct that? So Mr. Perry and I are meeting with an art gentleman next week that has interest in, developing that, and, but it's good to see that when the three groups said is if they have all of that, then we feel secure that, you know, it's gonna be completed in a short period of time, if they have the crew, they have the financial backing and such, we won't worry about the price of the land. We're more concerned about the development versus how much money we might put in the bank for selling some of the property. So I'll keep you posted on that. It's good to see that there's some interest finding in that property. So Rosalind and I last month attended a meeting, MEDC's educational forum up in Galen. Talked about different type of developmental strategies and resources and site readiness, things like that. Talked a little bit about the housing, statewide housing incentives and such. Didn't really share a whole lot of information that we didn't already know, but it was good to hear it's still their goal to promote housing and talk about strategies for many years and different skills and stuff like that. So sometimes some of these incentives will get out there and get on it quick, everyone hears about it, then due to one reason or another, they kind of fade off. And so that's good to see. Other than that, I read the trees next distribution is 20th of July, Saturday the 20th. Like it's pretty, I'm not 100% sure on that, but normally that goes along with the Rivers Journal. That's at the Western Area Public School Post Garage. All volunteers are welcome. Any questions?
Tony?
It is a concern I keep hearing from people, and myself included, the water bill. Not the numbers anymore, that seems to be smoothed out, but they're just not receiving them in the mail. And I believe the problem with the post office. So I don't know, if you send them down there, kind of find out what's going on. But in the last year, there's been several months that I haven't received them or received either late. I'm hearing that from other people too. And the first thought was, you know, in the office, were they printed or something? I've traced it down to point out. I received it late, had like a goofy sticker on the bottom. And I had another individual get a hold of me, and they received 3 more of their own, they got their neighbors, and then they received somebody from across town. Like I can see maybe one of your neighbors in the mail wrong box, but then they received somebody way the other side of town. So
Yes. They had sticker on, they didn't need it. They just came back. So we took them back down there because of like traffic and postage. We haven't even been through. We don't know why they were back in our box.
I just got mine last week or last month. I already paid. It was in the post office. It wasn't the office involved. It's definitely in the post office. I know I have an elderly neighbor that he forgets. You know, if the bill, he doesn't pay it, he doesn't get the bill for 3 months. Then the donor calling up, say, hey, we're gonna shut you off. $200 bill, you know, Social Security, so. I know.
We always stop right when we work with you, because we can't, I don't know what you know. They are the postcards, they say it's thick. But when we have to go postage on them all, they go through, we separate them, I mean, they're not. You don't know what it is. Okay, yeah.
There was maybe a couple weeks ago, for last month, Tammy was down at the post office and someone commented like, I just got my bill now.
Yeah.
And she had said, well, I sent them all up on such and such a date and went inside and she identified a person that, you know, they took case of and said, And actually, yeah, just email those all out, well, this person's got a question because they just received theirs today so I hear what you're saying I wish I had a better answer but I'd be glad to check that out, or inquire about, what's taking this car so long to get to the right destination.
And Tammy been working with me too, she could take it personally to make sure I got it. Somebody got done. I'll wait a couple of days or no, and I haven't got it yet. And then come over and hand deliver one. And then I get it a week later in the mail.
Okay, any other questions for Rob? I have one on the witness tree. Are we gonna put like a plaque down there saying that one of the?
There's
Well,
one
there's
back there now, I don't know what it says on all.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I thought, or like a ceremony or something for it or something.
We're trying to, once it's cleaned up, I'm the neighbors, see if they want to do a little marketing mat for that. But yeah, I guess we're just down there. We're
Trying to hit
all of them.
Okay, all right. More for any of those or no? Okay, if not, any more questions for Ron? We're gonna move on to public comment and agenda items, 2 minutes. Miss John.
So I see, I think Tony posted it on social media about the resolution for the 69 Ford Trail. So I'm not certain how, what the conversation is behind that, but these trails are designated by the state of Michigan. That trail is maintained by snowpackers, and then the other trails are by the Roscommon Higgins Trail Club. These groups work their butts off year round for grading the trails in the summertime, growing them in the winter time. And my concern is that I think you can all appreciate if you're working on a project or if you belong to a group, and then somebody comes along and wants to change or designate something that you cared for and you work for. So that need to be taken into consideration. This conversation, has anybody attended these groups? Have they requested that these trails be redesignated for different types of status, whether snowmobile, ATV, or mixed? And then through those channels before it comes to the village for a resolution of support.
Thank you, Ms. Scott. Anybody else? Okay, if not, we'll move on to Montana Business DPW report. Yeah.
Hey, everybody. So right off the gate, I want to say that the last few weeks, the guys have done a wonderful job getting everything cleaned up and mowed, and all 4 guys were out mowing, weed whacking, just making town look as nice as they possibly could. They've done a very wonderful job with it all. And then as far as the lights, you know, that's an ongoing topic. I did have been in touch with Blanchard. It's been a couple of weeks now. As soon as he knows when he can have a crew over here, he's gonna let me know a date. So right now, no update on that really. And that's been the bulk of it, just, you know, keep the town cool and
I just gonna say that you guys have been, you're writing handful on grants. It's rain.
I feel like that's all I'm talking about right now, but it's been.
Very unusual stuff, but. And in addition, I noticed the county have really mowed grass. And all along the back roads and I-75 all the way from West Branch to Ranch, it's been really good help with my people.
It has been, yes.
I think.
But, you know, normally Gary doesn't do a whole lot of mowing, or Andrew, and they've been out there for days on end as well, helping keep up on everything, so. I give the guys props for doing everything they have around town.
Any questions for Deb?
Debbie hated answer her phone last week because every time I turn around, I see things from gas catchers, and gas catch this, and I have, even for a phone when she sees that to me. But, thank you for doing that. Those details do go a long ways, thank you.
I just couldn't think about that. We went through and we spruced up the rocks around the trees that are on the main road here. Trimmed up the bottoms, just to make it look fair and, so it wasn't just mowing, there were other things that we were doing as well, so.
So,
Have you noticed the broken street light on the railroad back?
Yes,
Street?
so that too, I think I told you guys a couple months ago that I have ordered more globe street lights, the whole works. The guys went out and put up our last one by DC Pizza there. I talked to Standard Electric, last week. He's trying to get me a date because it has been a couple months since we ordered this stuff, so he's trying to get a date on when it's gonna be here. That way we can get moving, on getting the rest of them fixed and all, so.
any other questions for Jeff? If not, I have one. I talked to quite a few people on Thursday for the 4th of July. They sent in love our little town and said, you guys do a great job with the flowers and mowing, and I think I'll love this town up. So just let you know. Okay, the next item is Economic Director Report, Mr. Perry. Right.
Now, the 4th of July week, is, awesome. Happy 4th of July week. It was a great week. If you made it downtown at Farmers Market, walking around, downtown, and yes, the village was looking amazing. Thank you, DPW and crew. So part of the, redevelopment ready communities program, you've heard me and Ron occasionally, Dan Scow occasionally talk about RRC certification. Part of that certification, which is great, it opened us up to a lot of grants, and we've taken advantage of a lot of those grants, but there are hoops to jump through, and one of the responsibilities of the Director of Economic Development is to put out a yearly newsletter. That's part of this RRC. And my first year coming on was late December, early January, and I kicked that thing right out last January because I didn't want to get fired, on the first week on the job. So I guess I'm a little bit more complacent because the January newsletter is out now in July. And I had to just change a few things from winter to spring and summer. I also posted this online. Again, some of this is home jumping, but it is also part of the requirement to communicate with your constituent. And so we have things like mornings with the manager, third Thursday of the month, you can come in, have coffee with the village manager. Obviously, council meetings, the Zoom, being able to watch the meetings online, just like the county does, and some other municipalities in the area as well. So a lot of engagement with the public. So I'm going to just have Sean here pass. Everybody gets a copy of the newsletter. Yeah, I mentioned housing and the mixed development property across from Lear. Yeah, we went 20 years and not a sniff on that property, and now all of a sudden, new developers have knocked at our door almost within a week, and so we're trying to figure out how and who has the best plan, and we don't know what that's going to look like. But it looks like we might start to see some development out there, and we're hoping that a good portion of housing could, we think it might be, but things crossed. The Housing Task Force continues to meet every other month, something like that. This county-wide housing task force started right here in the village. To the credit of the development manager, when we saw in 2021 and 2022, the county level, the village, the heavy rollback village failed, and one of the things that was lost was the director of housing for the county. And so being able to step up and really get the ball rolling has been has shown leadership by the village, and I appreciate that. I hope the county appreciate that. More to come on that, the public figures, I'm gonna call them out, are, the representative on the county commission for the village is not running again, and, your candidates running for that position are here in the audience, so I'm gonna freely talk to them. And make sure that I know that, we're watching and, the village of Hammond watch. And that isn't like to be, this serious, just saying. Russ Lynn, this is his last council meeting. He has been with us for he will be with us for 9 weeks. If you remember, University of Michigan graduate student in urban planning. Has been our intern for the past month and a half, 2 months. And he's going to be leaving us a week from tomorrow. Thank you to Carl and Sue Jock for hosting and feeding Russ. He's a 20-something-year-old. Come on, I know. And Russ, we congratulate you for completing this, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You've added a lot to the village, not just the machinations of the village and how we work as a municipality, but I think you've made a lot of friends here in the community, with the community garden. We help out there, and many other places. We also managed to break some equipment, and we got it fixed. Thanks to Fran's husband. I just had to throw that in there. Keep it on. And you some book project. That's true. Shame. Shame. Last update, is kind of less banter and humor, but I don't want to work on the Sulphur District. And the committee is meeting again tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock right here. Some of the council members are on that committee. And we're getting close. We have time for those stems. If you remember, we'll need a resolution passed by the village council. We're hoping to bring that to next month. I said that before, and then we had to go fix a few things legally. And pretty obvious the social district will probably not be in play for this summer. We do have 2 bars that have signed on to be part of the social district. Reds and greens, and hopefully in 2025 we'll have a couple more on maybe tonight, but Oktoberfest. You've heard that we're going to give Oktoberfest another spin, and the letters are going to go out to this year's sponsors to see if they will re-up sponsor Oktoberfest. If you were not a sponsor last year and are interested in sponsoring for Oktoberfest, please reach out to me, and we'll make that happen. Any questions?
What about Parkman and New York Festival?
Thank you very much. So last week, one of the things in the fifth tourism assessment that MSU Extension completed is, a little village like Roscommon, as we start to embrace more and more tourists, the engine that really drives us is our Chamber of Commerce and our local businesses. And we do something almost every weekend, festival or summer fest or car show or art in the park, formerly called Art in the Park, but the art festival this coming weekend as well. And there are a couple other events that I know the chamber is working on, but out front here, the craft center, the art festival will be held this weekend. Make sure I'm.
Any eligible reunion. That's all.
Is that this weekend?
That's Saturday night, isn't it? Usually is the same night. Yeah, in the craft center. Same night as the artist, and the second day as well.
And you're adding your historical society.
Oh, yeah. I'm there every Saturday. Oh, yeah.
Any other questions?
You're good, sir. Thank you. We are gonna move on to Hiawatha Park update, Mr. Alden.
Boy, I don't even know how I'm gonna stretch this without crying, I think. This 4-year grade, procedure, has been quite the undertaking, and as of last Thursday, approximately 4:30, we signed papers. We have, not only was the grant awarded from Siege of the Village officially, but, a contract between Chevy Consultant and the village has been drawn up. And, we started tweaking that contract at 6 AM last Thursday, what Wednesday, and God had it done at 4:30 afternoon. And it was painful, okay, good. But we're there. So what's the next step? Chevy Consultant, you may have seen or heard or driven by it. They are doing some preliminary work down at the high one of the property. A lot of it's just turned off the dead brush, dead trees cut down, kind of home and some of that, open it up. There's a pretty strict guy, especially when you're around water like that, what you can do and can't do, they get all the permits and such. So they're gonna be working on that for a couple of days, and then they're gonna dredge some of the pond up. During the summer months, as that pond area, the water level goes down, you can almost walk across it and stuff for launching canoes and stuff like that, so they're gonna dredge that out. And then they're gonna let it go for a bit long. And then what they will do the second week of August, after a lot of the canoes and kayakers, fishermen, that have been done this summer, they will go in there and then start where the house is at and work on there, but it's I don't feel comfortable saying it's there. I want to see things going up, things coming down before I say that, but it's there's one more aspect that has to happen. If you recall me saying in prior months that we're going to the MEDC board to ask for additional funding, because since the start of this project, the prices have gone up so much. At their last meeting that they had, they didn't have quorum. So our option at that point was waiting until they had quorum, which would be July 9th. But then that would mean we'd have to do all the paperwork with Sarah and back 2 or 3 months, which is no big deal. However, when you bid on a job, you got so many days to award that bid. That deadline was July 3rd. So we had to take a little gamble and say, okay, we're gonna go ahead with this, and MEDC said, well, nothing's guaranteed, but the Roscoe project is not under new business or new or old business or anything like that. It's in the consent agenda that they feel pretty comfortable that it's not consent agenda is going to be passed, and will be awarded up to the components. And it's not a single item on your agenda. They feel bad that it has taken this long. And we keep reminding them how bad they should feel that it's taken this long. So hopefully they're gonna get in there and you're gonna see a lot done this fall, and depending on Mother Nature, they may have to finish up a few things in the spring. But at least this project can move on, and we can start to see construction and something being done. Excuse me. But right now you're gonna see brush clearing out, trees trimmed up. They have a map of trees they can touch, you can't touch, and stuff like that. So we're gonna kind of work along on that line. So keep your fingers crossed and continue to have good weather, and go ahead.
Any questions for Ron on highway? If not, we're gonna move on to new business. 2024 budget review.
And I feel bad that I can't give my computer to project out there, because I have a breakdown of the major categories of our expenses and the general fund, there's major streets, local streets, industrial park, sewer fund, water fund, and equipment fund. I will say this is our mid-year, and normally at mid-year, our revenue is below 50%. Because we get the most of the money from the state in the last couple of months of the year, the state holds on to it, additional interest. And that plays true for this year. We've collected 44% of our revenue that we projected by the end of June. Currently, we have collected roughly $775,000, and we said that we would take in $1,755,000. So compared to last year, we're right there. We're very close to where we're at compared to prior years. In appropriations, we have only spent 41% of what we projected. And remember, when we set the budget, I always set the revenue low and I set the appropriations high. And because we never get everything done that we want to do, and we know that with the revenue being low, we're going to pull in more money than what we budgeted for. So it really balances out, and that strategy has played well in the village. So long story short, appropriations, we have spent 41%, which is roughly $950,000. We said we would spend $2.3 million. So I expect that to come in probably more at the $1.7, $1.8 million range. And that's typically where we're at. Okay. So so if you look at those numbers on what I sent you, and about this, the audience that can't put that on the screen, if you have any questions, just let me know.
Any questions around the budget review? If not, we're moving on to police and Vanderbilt sewer, $20,000.
This is the USDA grant money that this change order, when the engineering cost first was set aside for this part of the project that we're finishing up, it was $8,500, and you guys agreed to pay that. Then due to delays and can't get parts and such, that $8,500 went up to $11,500, which you approved. Now we're doing things one more time to that balance is now at $20,000. This is money that'll come out of the USDA grant. I will say we just have a couple little things to finish up, and then we'll be closing out this grant. The water part of this grant, this is what was a $12.5 million project, but the water portion came from the $250,000 under. So I try to ask for that money for miscellaneous around the village. We can't do that, I guess. And I think the sewer's gonna come back about $150,000 under as well. So I would entertain a motion for to pay Peterson Vanderbilt for wastewater sewer improvements for the total of $20,000.
And I get a motion to pay police and Vanderbilt $20,000 for the USDA project.
Make that motion.
And the first, and the second.
The second.
First, second, any discussion? If not, roll call.
Livia,
Yes.
Yes.
Michael.
Yeah.
Hugh,
Yes.
Ready? Yes. And Miller.
Yeah.
Bad.
Next item is section 3 policy for hiring.
When you're dealing with the federal government, there's gonna be a number of policies or procedures that we're gonna have to follow. Their guidelines, and the section 3 policy sometimes deals with low income. And this policy, uh. Deals more with, are we going to, employ someone that might make qualify as low income, or are we gonna look at contractors and different things? This policy basically said that income is not to be, a determining factor on whether or not we hire someone for a position, you know, and, we have to have this policy in place. There will be more policies like this, coming up. They inform me, there's a couple ways that in the future we can handle this. We could just put those in the consent agenda. And you will get a copy of those when I send it out, and we can handle it that, or we can break them down individually, but I guess there's enough numbering in it now, so. And a lot of it deals with, HR policies or discriminations and stuff like that, so. I would entertain a motion to approve for the section 3 policy. Or, the one for traffic.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we approve. Yeah, first, can I get a second, please?
I'll second.
First, second, any discussion? So,
I have no objection to putting these in the consent agenda.
any more discussion? If not, roll call.
Bishop.
Yes.
Ready? Yes. Michael.
Yes.
Cook.
Yes.
McDonough.
Yes.
Miller.
Yeah.
Patino.
Yes. Okay, the next item is limited English proficiency resolution. Mr. Relman.
This is, another policy, and this was actually, this was for our USDA policy, grant that we're just finishing up. Thought we had taken care of this a few years back. USDA cannot find that on their file as it went through the final checklist of how we can close this out. And so, they resent that to me and asked for, a resolution. I don't recall doing a resolution on this specific thing, but I do recall, having a discussion about, limited language proficiency. Basically, what that says, if you hire a contractor, or someone come in and English is not their major, language, that you have a means to assist them, so communication is not a problem. What we have done in the past, and what I wrote in my application, is that if it's just to say someone that has speaks a different language, a couple things we could do. We're gonna see if there's someone local that either teachers or speakers in that language. If it's something that sign language would go to our ISD, most phones and iPads and computers today, you can do the conversion on there. So I recall writing up something explaining that, and that's basically all we have to report, that we just have a way of getting over that language barrier. So this resolution that they sent last week here, just for the villages to have something so they can check it out, and as we finish the USDA project.
Okay, can I get a motion for limited English proficiency resolution for USDA?
I'll make that motion to approve the USDA limited English proficiency resolution as written.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Got a first, second, any discussion? If not, roll call please.
Medina.
Yes.
Bishop.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Keel. Cook.
Yes.
Miller. Yes.
Okay, the next item is ORV trail support, Mr. Medina.
At first, everybody received the resolution in their email. Letter from the snowpackers. I'd like to clarify, I have attended numerous snowpacker meetings over the last year and a half. I was contacted by Scott Nessel, the president of the St. Helens Snowpackers, that name changed at 369. And they informed me that they're working on a proposal to make that what they call a shared route in St. Helens and Rouse Common, which I guess ORVs larger than 50 inches in width aren't allowed on that trail as of right now, legally. So they have to take county roads. And there's a portion of the trail out towards St. Helen that already is designated a shared route. We just want to kind of make it all complete. And they contacted me and just, the email they sent me, they asked if possible would be of great benefit to have a letter of support from the village of Roscommon. As we both know, that connection will help people ORV traffic into the village. The letter should state specifically about the benefits of having Trail 69 in the shared route to include ORVs over 50 inches. And I mean, for the record, I'm not an ORV rider or snowmobile rider, but I understand the importance it has for the economy here and plays a big role. So if it is something you should look at snowpack up with, or support. And then give it a better DNR. So with that being said, I'd like to approve the resolution for the ORV trail. In the shared route. Yeah.
I'll second that.
Here we are for a second, any discussion?
I guess I have a question in regards to Sue's summit. Is this trail, would that then affect the other, what was, you said, snowpackers, and what was the other?
You know, Jen, I was unaware that Tony had been going or had asked, so I just wanted to make sure that, yeah, because that is, those are designated by the state of Michigan, and then the groups, snowpackers, and then the Roscommon Trail Cruisers, they are the ones that write the grants and then work with the state of Michigan. So this evidently has been taking place, if they've asked for support, then, which is good to hear.
And so
Thank you.
it's not something that would negatively affect the other, that second group that you mentioned.
They maintain it with no.
They
Okay.
maintain to the north. Yeah, the only impact that you really would have to measure is the larger vehicle impact. So, and I mean, those groups are the stewards, you know, that maintain those trails. So if they have evidently met and weighed this and measured it, so you just have to, you know, either go with their suggestion or get more research.
You know, Tony, I'm an ORV trail rider, right, and snowmobile rider. And I like the idea of getting those ORVs off the county roads, putting them on the trail, right, for say, just had that one accident. There's accidents out there, the ORVs are picking up sand on the side of the road, and so I think it's a good cause. The one part I would be concerned about is paragraph 4. It's the village of Roscommon permitting ORVs on all the local roads. It's just, I think it's questionable, you know, we've got a little bit of access now where they come down Main and then they come, you know, they come down by the alley and they'll park out at like BP and they'll go across this, the Shell and Family Fair. It can cause a little bit of disruption down there when the ORVs are crossing the main road. So I'm at, so that paragraph, that's all. And everything else, I think, looks good.
That I was kind of, when that resolution was kind of leading up. I mean, we already got a resolution ordinance that allows like. That's why I was stating in that resolution. Say, look, we allow ORVs on all the local roads. So if we have them coming in that trail, it's not gonna be an issue. So,
I see, okay.
there's already an ordinance in place that allows them all of those streets.
Okay, so it's not anything in addition to that?
No. They're just kind of stating that we allow them on the street.
Okay. Yeah, let me get an idea. I think that's-
I've been using these trails for years and they're destroyed. Between here and St. Helen, there's a cemetery about 3 miles from St. Helen. And a man was telling me that he was a little kid, he used to pick blueberries there with his mother. And he says there were like 50 unmarked graves and he said it's all torn up by these 4-wheelers. They don't care. They go wherever they please. And at midnight, there's no DNR people out here. I've jogged, I've walked my dogs, I've cut firewood down here, and I cannot get on these trails anymore with a car. I mean, the last time I was on one of them was in a four-wheel drive truck. It was just like that. You know, and the DNR is doing nothing to upgrade them. I have nothing against snowmobiling, but, when it comes to these things, I'm not fair. But my one
Would be on this section of the road. You wouldn't be on this section, he's not up in this. Waiting for, EGVs, but, not side of, so the truck, or G's wouldn't go on this.
I'm not in favor of any of them, I'm sorry. You know, like I said, I have nothing against snowmobiles, but these things have done a lot of destruction. There was one hill down there. I used to drive a 79 Chevette up that hill. And now, the last time I was down there, I had trouble getting up a four-wheel drive pickup truck. That's how bad it's been destroyed. I'm sorry, but the DNR should be held accountable. Okay, I mean, I'm sorry, but that's all I have.
I just want to clarify kind of what Kurt was saying, and that ORV Trail 69 is for strictly ORV, mobile, things of that nature, not pick up truck, regular vehicle, family. And so, I mean, even if this doesn't get passed, it gets approved by the PNR, and there's no law on the county roads, but now at least they have the option to go down Trail 69. Maybe eliminate some of the traffic off the county roads and season roads. The trails are maintained to the snowpackers and the county roads are maintained by the county.
With this letter of support, are they gonna take that to the DNR to try to get that change?
They're gonna
Then the plan?
they were getting resolution in Richfield and Oakland and Austin. They got a letter wrote up, and I'm sure they got a map and all that. That DNR makes their determination and.
I guess for the people that aren't ORV, drivers on. A trail is, can have a vehicle 50 inches wide or less. Okay, a road is unlimited size, basically, 72 inches, 72 or something. So if you're the little guy on a trail, you can ride on anything. The big guy just has to stay on his roads. Or big guy didn't have the proper stickers and such, they can go on non-state roads too. So that's the other part of the argument, is that there's a lot of roads too that they can go on, but yeah, that's a distinction if you see a road sign or if you see a trail. It's a size of the vehicle that can go on.
So I just got one comment. In the letter from Scott, it says they want a letter of support, not a resolution. Why can't we just make this a letter of support? Or send a resolution?
I mean, a resolution is essentially, because who would write that letter, I guess we could designate the village manager to the letter.
Oh, that's pretty
I mean, well, the resolution kind of shows the whole council.
No, I'm not saying anything bad about it. I'm just saying they asked for a letter of support, not a resolution.
They're not familiar with government terminology. Resolution didn't create things to do in this.
I'm gonna pass them out that map. Again, I apologize for being honest, I came with them, that helps you explain. Any of this.
So the highlighted green would be trail we're talking about, right?
The highlighted would be a problem.
The turn then go about.
And so right now between Roscommon and Needles, that's already set up as far as you know, all set as a road. It's 9 miles long. I think part of the issue is from St. Helen up to Needles, if I look at that map. And I think there's a hope to connect St. Helen and Old Lake and Roscommon and with these trails and such, and again, I can see where that could be something nice to offer. For the tourists or locals.
Okay, we got a motion that brings quite a bit of revenue to the state. I don't know the total dollars, but every ORV that's registered. It's at least, I think it's $36, $10 for the one pass, and it's 26 for our other. We have to have two passes on that. Trail commitment and regular rail and for it. Yeah. And that's just not ORV, but see, that's also included in the Jeeps, the truck, everything else included in that. They all have to have the exact same permits to go everywhere else, everybody else has. Clear back out. Okay, we got a motion. Okay, we got a first and second. Roll call.
Cook. Miller.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Visual.
No.
Michael.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes. Okay, next item is discussion items, number 8. Do we have any?
There are a few weeks out for business words to do that. This text is. Get over it, please, for the sake of everyone. It's trailish. Not productive. I've said it before, I will say it again. You have some decent ideas. You clearly are concerned about the community, that the way you go about trying to get things done is not made me, and I would venture to guess others, really want to back you. Just stop, please.
Any more discussion?
I agree. You don't conduct business, you get more things done with positive, encouraging, and we're trustees, don't have authority to make a lot of other decisions. We got an awesome building manager, it's done more for us, I can't remember, I don't know how much we've had done. So, we gotta let him do his job. We gotta quit sabotaging and getting in his way. A lot of times that happens.
Any discussion? If not, we'll move on to number 9, public knowledge to his speaker. Anyone? Well, with third, we do the better.
I'm who don't know me, my name is Mike Inver, I'm your common prosecutor. Been living here on the village for just 18 months. I've been practicing law for 29 years. 26 of that representing municipalities. I represent townships, cities, road commissions, county commissioners. And I know how a room of board members are supposed to operate and not micromanage. Like, there's a huge difference between last month meeting and this month, and frankly, plan to pick, I guess, this month's meeting went nice and went well, okay? The issues that I had with last month's meeting is that we were talking about 5 bucks, and you're going through the ordinance as to what's been our problem, you're talking about parking spaces. And look at the size of the building for usage. And Ron wanted to explain to you that there's a definition for usage, that when you exclude from the area of the building, and you shut them down. I'm just suggesting what I've seen other municipalities do, that they're, whether it's a village manager or person in charge, a CEO, if they're able to clarify something in a ordinance or a statute, it's been my experience that trustees allow them to do that, so the public's not being misled. And from my perspective, last week, I had to go look it up. I felt like I was misled when you were giving your presentation. And maybe that wasn't your intent, but that's the way it appeared. The other thing that I think the board needs to realize that you're right, you're just voting here as board members. You have zero authority individually. So nobody can just go out and do what they want or contact the contractor
Because what you're doing, is your local attorney will take the same thing, you're creating legal liability for yourself. You're creating legal liability for us, across the board. If there's an issue that's not being addressed, that was supposed to happen 2 years ago, typically, proper course of conduct is not go to the contract, but bring it to the board, an open meeting and say, hey, Ron, why isn't this getting the thing done? Again, there's a vast difference between last month and this month, and I applaud you, this month's meeting went really well, it was really informative, it was enjoyable. There wasn't all the animosity that was last time. When I was here last month, I was just thinking, wow, this is truly what was sad. This month, I think you guys are in a really good meeting, it was informative. And I hope that future meetings continue to go in that direction. One last thing, when Russ broke the machine last couple weeks ago, I was there. Because the job. So he called the guy the night Miller that anything went wrong. So, anyway, I enjoyed coming to the meetings. I enjoyed living in this thing. I enjoyed living in the village. I spent 20-some years in Gaylord. Frankly, Gaylord is big and it's busy, and it's nice to be in a community that's cozy. And I hope it stays that way. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'd like to say something. I've known people that have had like represent them, and everything I've heard about it, he's the best attorney. And didn't mean to embarrass you. That's what I've been told. And I didn't even realize you were our prosecutor. It's not until some time ago, but I'm stay there.
I would appreciate my words. Thank you.
Keep representing us.
Thanks for the line.
Thanks, Mike. Any other public now, Mr. O'Rourke?
Again, I just want to take time to. Introduce myself, Phil O'Rourke, I'm like your District 2, your District 2 County Commission seat, but Gary Shaders at Village. And it's all important to me, it's all equally important to me. I think you guys have dodged a bullet for the last couple of years. That nothing bad came up in the county that could adversely affect it. I think the current commissioner is more involved at the legal level than anything else. That won't be the case if I'm lucky enough to be elected. I'll keep in mind, come to your meetings and try to help you with whatever I can at the county level. When we can work together, the common good of District 2 and the village. If it's true, all you want to say, so I got some signs of the truck.
Thank you, Kevin. Anybody else on public announcement?
Right, well, last time I was here, I talked to you about why I wanted to run, to serve as your county commissioner. So things that I have learned over the years of politics, and it's one thing to look at social media, it's one thing to look at a flyer that you get. It's really important to get to know that person. We don't do a lot of debates, we don't have a lot of that opportunity in our communities. But I wanted tonight to tell you a little bit about me, so that you know where I come from. I, first and foremost, I'm a mom and I'm a wife. I have a business here. I chose to live here after I moved from Texas because I love it here. I have been in the hospital world in healthcare for most of my career, and that's from Novo Nordisk, Mayo Clinic, to serve on hospital boards. The current one we do even have here in Munson. 9 years on our school board. I've been the CEO of a nonprofit regional group. And I think I had about 10 CEOs to work with. Talk about turf wars and a little bit of ego to try to bring together to a collaborative effort to help our region. I own a business. And I think more than anything, I think the experiences that we have really shape how we view and treat and think about the world around us. So all those definitely shape how I think about things. But what those did teach me, more than anything, is that we have to be willing to listen. We're not going to solve all our problems because they're not easy. by being bombastic, by not listening and trying to seek to understand where does that person come from when that is what they believe so wholeheartedly. I want to be a representative that's not trying to prove that I'm right all the time, and more about making a change. I want 4 years to go by and the people in this community to say, I trust those commissioners more than I've ever trusted a group before. So that's what I'm at for. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else like 2 minutes? If not, come. Look, I never think you.
You even had your own
Good.
business section.
I putting on my citizen hat now, so this is not, village employee, Jill Perry Ellis, it's, Rock County resident, Jim Perry Ellis, and many people don't know that on the ballot this August. We have a lot of, candidates, going against each other, but we also have, ballot proposals for the county as well. One of them is close to me. I just recently started serving on the Roscommon County Economic Development, Board, committee, which 2021, 2022, as we know, and I don't want to give a patronizing speech about how the headly rollback is, but our taxes were rolled back, and then we have to vote to get them back to where they were. That failed at the county level twice, and because that failed twice, other certain groups that were within the county that were benefiting from those monies that were cut, MSU extension, police sting operation, 4-H children, bridge programs to MSU extension, the county economic development board, and the aforementioned housing commission, all cut to some degree in 21, 22. Then you saw police millage to try and restore some of that. That failed. I'm here to ask you to support the MSU extension and the county economic development millage. It's together in one millage. Obviously there are many constituents in this county that take advantage of the youth programs, and it's not just youth programs, 4-H and so forth. There are many other things, educational resources, natural resource stewardship, health, nutrition, food, these are all tied into MS extension and their programs here in Roscommon County. Not going to be around anymore, and so, if I have to, tug on the heartstring, say, think about the kids, 4-H programs, many of you participate in the 4-H program. And without restoring, I can say that this is a tax increase. I know Mr. Official is against all tax increases, and frankly, tax increases is a great rallying call. I'm being against tax increases, a great rallying call. But please consider the ramifications of the many programs that were affected when this heavy rollback occurred back in 21 and 22, and was not revoted to its normal levels. That in itself was not really a tax increase. It was just trying to get the millage rate up to where it was previously. I have some informational cards that come from the committee. These don't say they're not biased. They don't say vote yes or anything like that. They're merely informational, and I would appreciate yes vote unless you're extension county economic development millage. By the way, every dollar that was spent on countywide economic development brought 17 times the return to the county in business support, business grants, many of your business owners. And they said you can spend money to make money. And this is definitely there's information on how much this will cost you, according to how much your house is worth and so forth. I'm not going to get into that. It's actually quite innocent. I think it's $8 or roughly $8 a year to support both the children and business.
Right out. And you Mr. Medina.
Another thing that's going on in town, all the activity is the Black Bear bicycle tour is going to be coming to the tour. I'm saying, getting out of his bikes, I got a 45-mile one, 2-mile one, and a 100-mile one. But all three of them.
You ride it?
Okay, that's a 6-mile one.
That's right.
The High Library project. So, can't believe it, it's gonna two, sort of a close or, just wonderful work, everyone's part. Thank you.
Okay, well, as you folks know, I'm very much interested in history. I run the museum down here every Saturday, this is the 4th year, I think, nobody wanted to do it, so I go there every Saturday. I was really excited, later happy, a lady got a hold of me, and she said she couldn't be there on Saturday, she was a member of the Schlegel family. And I have a placement, I didn't have WF back, showing their place out of Lake. They were from Chicago. Well, she and 2 other members of her group came to see me. I opened up the start I this morning to talk to them and give them history of a whole lot of stuff they didn't know about. It really makes me feel good to help people, you know, with a family background. And so then 2 other people came in, and this is a day we're not open, but I was there until about 3 o'clock. Yeah, you know, normally I'm only there till 2, but I am open. This is our 40th anniversary. And while we were in there, like you said, what's that lady out there working on those flowers? It was Jerry Tolbert. She's a senior citizen, you know, and she's a member. She's just out there picking dead ends off the flowers. And I also point out, every time somebody comes in there, you know, I get a group, I always point out to them. You know, look around in here, you see the wallpaper, you see all this, it said, men couldn't have done this. This was all done by women, because for the first 25 years, the Historical Society had no men officers. It was all women, and, so I always point that out, and, you know, it's the truth. I mean, I'm not trying to make anybody, you know, trying to impress anybody, but you just, if you ever get in there, look around, you'll see what I'm talking about. Men did a lot of work on the building for their wives. It was a rundown old building, and men did a lot of carpentry. Women did a lot of that decorating and so forth. Oh, and then, you know, we still got that historical district, that Jim and Russell, they came to the Historical Society meeting and announced that there's a group of people from the Historical Society, they're gonna have a committee, plus the one here from the village. They're gonna be working with, trying to save our community. And, I guess that's about it, guys. I won't take up that much time. Thank you. Okay.
I just wanna say thank you, Ross, for your time here. It's been nice having you and good luck on everything in the future.
Ms. Cole.
The first time I came into the offices and met Ron, he pulled out his sidewalk report to tell me his ideas about what he wanted to do over there. And so congratulations for seeing your not to the goal when I know that it was a huge challenge. So congratulations to you for that. And I also just want to add one additional piece of information to MSU extension information that Jim was sharing. Muskota County is the only county that does not have a current agreement with MSU extension. So that would make the second. So consider whether or not we want to have that distinction. Yes.
That's good. That's ongoing there. I think most something else.
Muskota has not had any sort of agreement with MSU extension for 2 or 3 years.
Oh.
They had a brief agreement that recently, and I'm not really sure how far back it went that they had not had an agreement. So like a brief agreement and then not anymore. So it's the only county that doesn't currently. I take it back, there are millage counties, but I just wanna say that that's the only one that does not have some birthday tree.
I have, thank you, building worker, and also July 4th was a great turnout from the whole community. A lot of support, with a lot of comments from a lot of people out of states. I've had people from New York, Colorado, Minnesota. I've had everybody talk how much this is a beautiful little town and they will come back. One gentleman I talked to, his family was from Higgins Lake area. He actually rode the little airplane 35 years ago in this parade. He brought his son to do it this year. It's right, yeah, right from, which I thought was a very cool thing for Village Ross County. So like to shout out to the whole community of Ross County for doing a great turnout. Russ, we're gonna miss you, buddy. Please stay in contact with us and let us know what you're doing, and how everything go, okay, bud? Okay, that's all I have. Items for next agenda.
I will have a update on Iowa, and hopefully every month I just a little bit more about. Resident going up or going down, and I will be giving you a upgrade as well on some of the construction projects that we had. Currently, we're kind of finishing up, like the sidewalk, and then we got spots, still other village, we're gonna hit some of those spots and take there some damaged areas.
Any update on baby? On baby projects?
Nothing yet, you know.
Any more items for our next agenda?
Actually, I was thinking of something, there's a group trying to get Founder's Day ceremony started. And I have the information and then, butcher shop over here is what they were involved in, but I gave them information, I haven't heard any more about it. But we had one in 1985, we had a 100th anniversary of the village. And I have all the information, but I told them, I haven't. So I don't know if they're still planning to do it. But it was in mid-August, we had a raft race, dressed in all swimming suits, people grew beards, it was all kinds of stuff going on. But it's just something that, it might nudge you, Jimmy.
Oh, that's good, that's great.
Yeah, go down, see what Bob, I'll be glad to help him, it's a matter of the thing. Okay.
Okay, any more items for agenda? If not, we'll need for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make motion to adjourn.
I'll second it. All in favor? Thanks for waiting till afternoon. See you next month.